So, hello everyone. Let me move something. Welcome back to Babbling Zoom. Uh, so last time I talked about Cyberpunk, Edgerunners, the anime, the 10 episode anime that Studio Trigger dropped, and then because of this anime, basically everyone's back playing Cyberpunk 2077, which is kind of an awesome thing, and I think a lot more games should probably play around with this. You know, like yeah, have anime just play around with the world. But at this point, everyone loves this anime so much that I feel like some people are out there playing around with the idea of what if there was a season two? What can they make for a season two? And the very first thing, well, you know what? Let me play with this idea as well. What can you bring to the table on season two? And I'm going to go with something completely radical. I'm going to buck the trend. And as much as I love what Studio Trigger has brought to the table, I would say move on to another studio. Don't let Studio Trigger make a second season. I know it's weird. We love how Studio Trigger did this. They did a great, amazing job of this world, but the understanding, you have to understand Cyberpunk as the world. With the game, you're playing as V. That's your story. The game is your story, is the story of V and his slash hers, their story within Night City. Edgerunners is the story of David Mendes and his story of Night City, a story that Trigger created. The story is created by CD Projekt Red in this world that's not even their world, right? So these are their, if you want to take it this way, because Cyberpunk is based, Cyberpunk 2077 is based on an tabletop RPG, then in a way, think of these as small campaigns. Cool. If these are small campaigns, let's make other DMs create them, right? GMs, not DMs. GMs did create them. So why go this route? The first reason is, like I said in my last video, Cyberpunk is kind of reintroducing us to the world of OVAs. A big thing that started happening in the boom of Japan in the 80s and 90s, where studios just started shoving money to animators and said, just make something. Have fun, make something crazy. And people started, companies just started making all these awesome, off-the-wall, violent, adult content that somehow made it to America, and we fell in love with animation again. In a way, we kind of realized, oh, we were so saturated with childish, kiddie things, and it was hard to find anything remotely crazy or adult because most of them were kind of hidden away in projects like, I don't know, Heavy Metal, the movie, that no one really got a chance to see, and I kind of snuck it when I was a kid, and it was amazing. But again, that was never intended for kids, and all of a sudden anime shows up and everyone's like, what is this? Again, the first time I saw anime or truly understood what I was watching was like a VHS tape passed around of Akira. It was something new, something different. And as time went on, it was hard. It was slowly getting easier for us to grab these things because in America at the time, no one understood. They just thought these were cartoons. And America's mentality of cartoons for kids, well, yeah, that was fun. So a lot of times I went to the video store and it was just a bunch of anime, but they didn't tell you what was right ages. And even if they said for 18 plus, my like 15-year-old mind thought maybe they wouldn't pay attention. And you know what? I was right. They didn't pay attention. So we rented a lot of good stuff. Right? But that said, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is basically bringing back that mentality, that time where studios would just give money to money would just get in the hands of studios and they just have the ability to do whatever they wanted. Let's see. And in a way, we kind of saw a little bit of that taking place when I'm trying to find a picture that don't think I have it. Let me back out of it. So when Star Wars Visions came out, is that better? Yeah, that might be better. When Star Wars Visions came out, it was kind of like that fun again of just allowing studios to make whatever they want in a specific world. And we had this chance, we had this moment where it was like, we know Star Wars inside, like for some fans, we knew Star Wars inside and out. Some kind of like dabbled in it, but in a way, it was ability to actually see the world from a different light. The rules were still there, but flexible. And like with Studio Trigger, a bunch of other studios jumped in and just had fun. They just took Star Wars to a whole new level, to the point where like we were watching it as fans and said, I want more of that in my Star Wars. But again, the way things are going right now, which is nice to see that anime kind of said, let's take the absurdity and have fun with it with Jedi. And then with the live action, we kind of went more with the Western, spaghetti Western route, where it's mostly about blasters and infiltration or bounties or something like that, because we're living in that point where there's no Jedis running around, which is fine. But what if we just took this same concept, right? What if Cyberpunk did the same thing? Trigger had their campaign. They made their Cyberpunk, and it was amazing. For them to come back and make another one, it would be nice, but it wouldn't be as amazing as this, the story of David Mendes, right? So what if we take a cue of Star Wars Vision? Moving around things here. I think I want to go the wiki. There we go. The wiki was better. And just see. Okay. And just go through the studios that already worked on it, right? They had fun making this world, give them a chance to play around in the cyberpunk world, right? So I'm going to mention one. Wait, let me go to Science Haru. Now, why them? Let me double back, because I think these guys made... That's not what I was looking for. All right, Science Haru made the homage to Astro Boy with Toby. TOB1. Toby. But let's be clear that this is also a studio that has dabbled in Devil May Cry. Crybaby, right? So they have the ability to just go off the wall in this world. Yes, you could go with the cute angle if you feel like it, but they've also had that, been able to dabble in like the messed up, the cruel. And this would be a fun playground for them to just create a new character just running around Night City. They could see the seedy, messed up underbellies, and just kind of maybe do compare contrast of like the corporate world with the Edgerunner world, or just the gritty world, whatever, like the seedy underbelly that is cyberpunk. It'd be a crazy fun little thing to see them just go completely all out, right? Let's see. Another one. I didn't realize they did two. Another one is, see if I can find it. I looked at the bride. Let's keep that up. Ah, there it is. Production IG. Oh, is that a better picture? No, there isn't. Well, obviously everyone's all in the, Attack on Titan, right? Everyone pretty much loves this show. And when you think about it, the mentality, like the world itself, the darkness of Attack on Titan kind of lends true to just a cyberpunk world. You have this ability of, hey, let's get dark, let's get gritty, let's get violent, let's just go everywhere with it, right? You can actually probably take, I'm not saying do a comedic take, but you can just maybe imprint some of these characters into the cyberpunk world and see what would they be like as Edgerunners in this world. Who knows, right? This is kind of like a fun idea of like, what can you do? Another thing. Is it Kamikaze Doga? Let's see if I get, oh. That is commercial. I don't like this website, by the way. Let me go to images. It'll be easier. All right. So Kamikaze Doga. Yeah. Basically the guys who bring you Jojo. Right? Now, did they give you the game or just the... Oh wow, they also did the Batman Ninja. Now for this, it'd be a little bit more time consuming because of the 3D animated 3D assets. But in a way, it would work. I think it would be the most parallel to the games, as the best way of thinking, maybe saying it. Yeah, it'd probably be the best to looking like the game world than an anime. But again, what if it was just bringing out the silliness? What if this was about just bringing out the absurd? I could even see like maybe a tie-in where one of the updates would just be better clothes. Oh my goodness, better clothes in Cyberpunk would be perfect if they did this. If they brought a little flair of JoJo to Cyberpunk, create this amazing story, and then give us the ability. Just the only download I would care about is just the clothes, so we could wear it in Cyberpunk, right? and also give a little nudge so we could actually have third person so we could see our clothes. I mean, there already is a camera mode, but I would love to like just see the clothes flap and flail all over the place. I don't know. That'd be fun. But Jojo and Cyberpunk, that'd be fun. That'd be really fun. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. All right. So one company that did not work on the Star Wars visions, that's not up here, is Studio Madhouse. But I believe this would be fun. Um, they are known for Death Note, obviously. Uh, but I'd love to see a little base like Black Lagoon come back into the fold. You know, that this is in a way is what best captures cyberpunk. This kind of gritty mercenary style of thinking. Uh, but I don't know if they. I don't know how the studios now. I mean, right now we're in the no game, no life. But I mean, they're bringing back. Are they bringing back Hunter? No, Hunter Hunter's old. But I'd say bring a little Black Lagoon storytelling into it. Mm, maybe a little Black Note, the Death Note, or One Punch. Would it be a comedy? Could comedy work in Cyberpunk? It could. It'd be interesting. But I'm stepping out of this because they created some very amazing visuals. Like when they had a chance to make their own, Red Line was kind of amazing. Um, I don't think it made as much money as they wanted it to, but this was an amazing piece of work. So I'm again babbling. I'm not going to be great here, but I figured this would be a good company to work with. To allow them to just have fun and go nuts, you know. And looking at their portfolio of anime, it is capable. They are capable of bringing in that just edge that is needed. Now, the one weird thing I'm going to mention after all that, after saying, what was it? After saying they need to move on, they need to just have another studio work with it. I would say let's look at. Did I take that away? G. Sorry, going through my pictures. I want to look at this one. The Elder. This is what catches you off guard. Is that in the end, this was awesome. This was an awesome man. This was an awesome addition to the Star Wars, right? This kind of gave me vibes of Ninja Scroll. There's an old anime, 90s anime, Ninja Scroll. Character design, the movement, the pacing, it just all felt like that, like a nice, good old samurai film. And this was Studio Trigger. So Trigger's known for the bombastic, the crazy, the fun, but the fact that this is also Trigger makes you think. And I know said don't do Trigger, don't go back to Trigger, but the only reason I would say go back to Studio Trigger with another Cyberpunk is if they completely change the style. What was it? Try to get back to, was there a wiki on this? It's just easier for me to go back here. So the difference was the director. So let Asuka direct this one. Right? Well, yeah, let Asuka direct this one. Let him have fun with this one. It's completely different than the twins. From art style, direction, all that stuff. So if you were going to go back to work with Studio Trigger, allow a different director to handle it, allow a different writer to handle it. Go completely different from the first one. I mean, the sad reality is, what I'm trying to say is, this did so much in terms for both anime and game. For the game, what it did was it brought people back in droves to the point where, like, it outsold, I think it outsold Witcher 3, which is a feat. But what it did for anime was it made everyone say, ooh, that was different. And then, without realizing that this way of approaching a story is what brought anime tenfold into America. This is the underground of otaku. That this is what otaku back in the day clung to and said, no, really, you need to watch anime. And eventually everyone kind of said, fine, whatever. And what was the first thing everyone started watching? Ghost in the Shell. They watched Akira. They watched Ninja Scroll. These were the staples you watched when you watched an anime, when you were first introduced to anime, because that's the main thing everyone says to watch. You're like, no, really, this is not like cartoons. Boom. And next thing you know, hour and a half later, you're freaking out because you just saw way too much blood and way too much nudity. And you're like, I've never known I never know animation could do this. What have I watching? Did they have more of this in Japan? I want more. I want more. And then boom, they started flooding in it. So this is what this brought back. This made everyone perk up and say, wow, that was amazing. And I don't want one studio to hold on to it this whole time. Other studios need to have the ability to just have fun. Netflix needs to just shell more money out to another studio and say, have fun. With the approval of, CD Projekt Red, obviously. Which I think they'd be perfectly fine with more attention on Cyberpunk. But yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is, let other people write a story. Let other studios have fun in this world. Allow them the taste of just playing around in an ultra violent, ultra crazy, ultra adult world before they go back to making stories about high school kids with powers. Yeah. So I will see you next Zoom, and we'll see what we talk about next time. Bye.